It's downside for the DAX. We do have 5 waves in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Could count that a bit differently, but this is probably the best fit. The second thing that we need to look at is this is our 50-60% retracement level area here. So we may or may not reach it. The other way to look at this, of course, is putting the A wave here and this here as a B wave here, and then coming down as a C wave here. I would find that a little bit small. But we'll keep an eye on that as well. So, but in the meantime, we'll just put this here. So in a nutshell, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, and A, B, C for the B wave, and then 5 waves down for the C wave. That's generally the path. Of course, that can be changed and tweaked and so on, but we've been looking for the top to roll over, and now we're getting this, you know, this impulse wave to the downside. So let's just go in there and pull it apart a little bit further. So from the top here, we can look at it as 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not the best 5th wave here, I must say. Could look at that a bit differently, but not too bad apart from all of that. The 4th wave here just clips this one here, so that box is not really ticked, so that means we could view this move in a different way. We do have 5 waves from here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a reasonable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, and then we need to look at the ABC correction coming through here. There's probably, you could probably put this here as well. This is quite complicated through here on this, but that's what you know, if you don't know what it is, it's going to be a wave 4 or a B wave in that case. So, and even the wave 1 here is a little bit shaky as well, but the 3rd wave comes in quite nice, and the 4th, and we should see a little 5th wave move to the upside here for that, and into the 50-60%. So in a nutshell, struggling to find support on top of the 15,300. So I think that what I normally do is that if the market trades above the 3 here, which is the top of minor group 1 of 15,000, if it trades above here and then it finds the number 2 here, the 15,200, as the retested resistance, then that's where the short trade can come into play at that point. Okay, so but don't short it just because it goes down. You definitely need to see it as the resistance, so it's got to come through it, go back and check it, taking that low out or the second low here, and it can come back above the level, as you know, and then if that's the case, then you have to wait for it to come down again, and this little pattern inside here will be a bigger version of this classic trading levels pattern 1 here. So definitely need that number 2 as the retested resistance, because as a bullish market it can still come down to 1.5 here at 15,150 and then move up from that point. So that's why we look for that first, you know, we need that really secured low at that point, you know. Is it possible just to drop here and come down? Possibly, because it is a little bit messy within here. You know, it looks quite nice as 1, 2, the 5 waves here for the 3rd wave is okay. The 4, this is, we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That would be the only way here. 4 coming back to the wave 4, 1 lesser degree, and then the 5 wave structure here. But I understand you could count this differently as well in here. So it would be struggling at this level here for this at the moment, because that would be capturing the 50-60%, 61.8% just in here as well, so hitting that glass ceiling there as such. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we can just dig a bit deeper. I don't know what we've got here. Okay, so this is just on 1,000 ticks here, looking at this here. So I'm not really sure. I haven't had time to ponder my navel about all this in here. Probably some sort of triangle as wave B here, but I haven't even had time to have a look at the cash market. So maybe have a look at the cash market, have a look at the stock 50, have a look around at other markets in the same vein, and that will become a bit clear at that point. So yeah, but all in all, I mean, this wave 4 could get a bit more complicated, but as a little A, B and C here, that's okay. As 1, A, B, C for 2, and a little 3, 4, 5. So if it was going to push up, then we'd need to see 5 waves. So we've got 1 and 2 here, the third. So we'd need to see wave 5 up here, then a little ABC pattern to pull back here, and then a third wave and a fourth wave and a fifth wave. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but if it was needed to push up to get that, you know, if this is a third wave, which is a pretty good case for that really, so then that would need that, and then we could fold over from that point. So I'm saying at this 2 here, that would be the looking for a classic trading level, just like this here. See how that's fallen through here? You know, sometimes it's nice and easy like this, and sometimes it's not. So you wait for the first low below the level and wait for that to be triggered. Give it some time, and if it pushes back above there, that's good. Then you can go up to the next level. Sometimes that's further up here as well, and if it goes back above the level, you can rinse and repeat, as I just mentioned then. So it'll be another classic trading levels pattern come down, but we don't want to do it there. We want to do it over here, you know. If this just drops from here, then you'll need to pick it up from, well, you could short it at that point, because that would be fine at that point, you know. So we'll put that there and that over there, and yeah, so based on this 5 waves coming down here, then this, you know, we've already been short here through here, so I hope that you've, you know, never let a winning trade move into a losing trade unless you've got good reason to do that and you're playing for the bigger picture. But in the short term, never allow that to happen. Always get to take a small profit or break even. It's easier to manage a winning trade than to recover from a losing trade. Okay, so that's that for the DAX. The FTSE is rallying as well. We were looking for a wave 4 to pull back to that particular space that it's in. It does look a little bit impulsive here, doesn't it? So we're looking for another little move down. So we got that bounce off the 7.5, so that's good. Yeah, it does look a bit impulsive there, I must say. Let me just have a closer look at this. It does look like a little 5-wave structure there, and I can't really take some sort of ABC pattern to come back up in that way with it. It's a little bit dangerous. I'll just going to go into 20 ticks and just check on that for a moment. Let's see if we can look at that. Well, that's definitely 1 and 2. This is 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe. I mean, we have to look at that as 1 and 2, don't we? That's that, and that would be 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, it looks like that's. It looks like it wants to give 5 waves up here, you know. And I'm thinking in terms of here as 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4, and 5 to go here. That means it will have an ABC pattern, and then another move up at that point. Well, where the hell is that going to leave us at that point? Can I view that in any other way? I can't go an A and a B. It's just too small in relationship to here. I could go an A and a B and a C. Let's go back to where we were before and just check on that. Was that on 5K or somewhere else? We'll find it. So, I mean, the wave 4 could pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which is here, but that's a bit beyond the scope of where we are looking at the moment. I need to take that down to here. Oh, we've got a little bit of space there. We can go up a little bit. I wonder if we'll do something like this. Okay, we're not ready to short anyway. We'll have to wait for a session. We'll have to look at this tomorrow. I mean, we could look at it as wave 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and come back up higher at that point. That could be also a possibility, but it's just such a nice third wave coming down there, isn't it? And to see this come back up to this point. Oh, well, the other point too is, I guess, all of this is, I mean, I wasn't expecting to think out of left field here is to put this in here. That's an ABC pattern. Anyway, we can't short it today, so we just have to we'll just wait to see what that is. That's a bit of a puzzle. It's even lagging the Australian market, which they can kind of tune into each other a bit. Yeah, okay, well that's an impulse wave, so we're going to have to be careful about this. We'll have to wait, we'll need more information on that. And that brings us over to the dollar, where I only know some things here, I don't know the whole picture. I mean, first of all, you know, it hasn't rallied up to its 50-60% mark up here somewhere. This is rather around the 40%, not the 50-60, which is okay. So I could look at this as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here for this, and have wave 2 sitting in here for that, you know. Because things like the Australian dollar have pulled back to where it needs to pull back to, the Aussie dollar. The pound can go up further. The euro's in a bit of a spot like this, just reflecting this in a way, so I can't resolve the euro situation, the euro dollar. What I can say though is this move down through here is 5 waves. So as 5 waves, we can look at it as, well, an A wave, and then a B wave here, say coming up and covering the gap on the futures, and then a C wave down to here, and then a move up here. So basically a bigger A wave, and then an A, B and C for the B wave, and then up from that point. I don't think it's going to go straight up from here. I mean, that's in 5 waves here. The only way I could do that is put wave A here and then put wave B over here for that, and look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That's possible. See, this is what I mean. You know, I can see that it can be done in different ways, but the takeaway is that's in 5 waves, and I have pulled that apart. Let's just go to 2K tick here. This is what it looks like here with wave. It's a bit weird, but 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2. So then the third wave comes to here, and the fourth wave comes to here. I mean, because it's pretty clearly 3 waves here with an A and a B and a C wave up here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it comes in quite nicely like that. And then wave 5 here. And then when I pull this apart further on 100 ticks, this particular trend here, and bring in a bit more data here, this is how I've counted it down. So you can you know, use it as a bit of a sounding plate here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 3 ABC for 4 here, and then something down here is 5 waves. So what did I do here? I had 1 and 2 and 3 here, 4 and 5. I mean, I can't see inside here, but it just looks like a nice ABC, doesn't it? And then 5 waves up here for that, and that brings me down to this point. So basically I'm in some sort of correction here, you know. That's what I'm kind of thinking here. So what I don't know is that this can be wave A here or wave 1. This can be B or 2. So you know, I'm not quite sure about this. And the problem with this is that the euro would be the same as well on the flip side. So this is probably 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4 and 5, something of this nature. You know, we'll have to track that in due course, but doesn't help me resolve the bigger picture. You know, that's the issue here with this. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to apologise, but that's not going to do any good. So I just don't know the whole picture here actually. But because we got 5 here, it means we'll get a rally and have another 5 there. So it could be, you know, could have a top in place here. You know, when I look at the Australian dollar, for example, I know it's only the sort of 5th biggest, what's the name? But here we were looking, you know, because this is pulled back. The 65 here, 65 cents is the 61.8%, and this is the 50%. So from the top here, we've got a nice A, B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. You know, sure, it could come down further, but we're kind of looking for a long trade setup here. So we'll see. Anyway, it's a little bit dodgy in here, but it, you know, we're kind of in the space where we need to be with in this. You know, this will be the 50, 60, 1.8% here. You know, so for this 50, 60% for the dollar is up here somewhere. You know, up in this space. So this is the dollar's been, you know, just a lazy cowboy really. So we'll see how it goes. And now we've got 5 waves here. You know, which means it could be down for 1 and back for 2 and down further. But I don't know if we, you know, I don't know if we just come down to here and then we push up at that point. You know, I don't know that. I mean, commodities are weaker. I mean, commodities have been falling while this has been falling as well. You know, so there's whatever was happening in terms of the anti-sinking situation, that's changed now. They're kind of moving together in a weird way. We'll keep an eye on that though. But it just because of this here, I can't crack the code to the euro, so I'll be in the same space here with this as well. I could look at this in different ways. I was thinking though is that if we, you know, because I can count this up in 5 waves. So if I count this up in 5 waves, then we'll have a look at the A, the B, and the C wave when it comes in. And then we could go long at that point. But I don't know if we go an A and a B and, you know, we come down for the C wave over here for this. Because of the dollar, I just don't know the answer to this, you know. I mean, looking at the pound and the dollar, we should be, the Australian dollar, you know, we should be, you know, we could cruise up at this point. So when I have a look at the pound, for example, in this scenario here, let me just open that up. I got a bit excited there on that. But, you know, we know that we've got 3 waves here. So it's hard to call that in as a top here. So it's better to have a look at it as 3, an A and a B, and 5 waves down here for the C wave here, and then count 5 waves up here. Now I can count 5 waves. I can already change all of this and put a top in right here on this. But what I was waiting for is we're at the 50-60% here for this. So I wanted to just wait to see if I can get a setup here. So there's different ways to count this pound. But basically here, you know, maybe I could do it a different way. I could put, maybe I could put this here, and I could put this here, and I could put this as some sort of A wave up here, a B wave here, and a C wave to here, and then we come down at that point. So there's a few things. Yeah, because we don't have the dollar in sync, there's a few things. I have to, in this area here, I can't do much. I was just waiting for it to top into this space here, and then I was just going to wait for a trade setup, and if I get it, well, then we'll get it, and if we don't, we don't. And anything below 3 waves here, we'll be able to go short at that point too. So it's hitting the 50-60% or 61.8% around this area here. So we'll just give it some time here. The euro will sort of top here, will fade with the DAX, and we'll see how this pushes up here. I mean, if this is going to push up here, then we're going to get our correction back here. This trend here is going to correct, and that's what I'm kind of waiting for on these, you know, to get that set up. Because if the dollar is going to go down at this point here, then we'll be able to go up at this point, you know. So we just have to wait. Just have to wait for the setup. That's all. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing we can do in the interim. Sure, you can go long here. You can go short on the euro. You can do those sort of things. But I'm talking about a trend that, you know, I can manage from day to day. You know, not just intraday trading, so to speak. Because day traders, and I think that's something that you need to handle yourself at that point. You know. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. Don't really have any sort of answers. I think that the indices are a little bit clearer, the rally that's going on there. We're seeing the same rally in the S&P. We're looking for higher moves. Also remember the ECB is doing its, I think it's doing its thing today, isn't it? It'd be 25 basis points or 50 basis points. That's going to, you know, rock its world a little bit. If it's 50, we'll get past that and let the dust settle. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Cheers.